Dude. Yeah, you're a dude now. Even if you're a girl, you're still a dude. In a good way, respectfully. Anywho, thank you and what? Anywhoosies, welcome back to my channel. I am Chloe George. I am an automation and tech expert here to deliver your weekly Teching You Out series where I teach you how to use tech to elevate your biz. But anywho, if you've been around for a while, all 170 of you, thank you so much. I always appreciate each and every one of my followers. If you've been around for a while, you know that I love organizing just pretty much about everything from my home to my business. And for my business and for pretty much my life now, which I will get into another video, I use Trello. Trello has been around since forever. I don't remember the actual inception, but I know I've been using it since the early 2000s. I'm aging myself, but who cares? That's how good it is. And as it's evolved and tried to compete with all these other people, what was unique to Trello was its board views, right? So it's, as an artist, it's very visual. It's always been appealing to me how it's been organized in these kind of board. And now what you've seen is Asana, ClickUp, what's the other one? Notion, kind of coming up with that concept of organizing it into like these board views, right? With Asana, you get a list view if you want. You get different options, but Trello kind of remains kind of even keel and true to it, what made it what it is. What they've trying to do now is kind of integrate these different things for people that like databases, that like list view, that like XYZ. And as it's evolved, it's added checklists, it's added automation steps, it's added calendar views, it's connected to your calendar. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with Trello. I can go on and on for like 2 hours on this, but I am not. What I am going to talk about today is custom fields. So Trello just integrated custom fields not too long ago, and we're going to get into what those custom fields can do for you, especially when it comes to automating your cards, automating your boards, and how this is going to be a game changer. It's already been a game changer to me, and I'm going to show you a look around one of my templates so you can see how I use them. So stay tuned for that. I'm pretty sure that for one video, you'll be okay with not seeing my face. So what I'm going to show you is what I talked about in the intro, which is Trello's custom fields. Now, what are custom fields? So let's get to it. So what I'm going to show you what are custom fields. And if you don't keep up with the Trello blog, you're not going to know what exactly custom fields are or when this came out or what the heck is it. But I'm going to show you what it is now. So usually on every card, Trello gives you different things that you can add to your card. We've already been used to our checklist, our labels, our members, our attachments, locations, cover. Now there's this thing called custom fields. And what are they? There are things that you can add to every card that, one, you're able to see from the front of the card, and two, you can automate those custom fields using the automation tips that I showed in a previous video. You can use your custom fields to create any automation. So this is not a board that I made myself. This is an amazing build tracker that I actually purchased, and I'm super in love with it. The whole point of this video is custom fields. So in this particular board, this person has made these types of custom fields. So you can have a custom field where you can write stuff in. So it's a text. You can have boards where you're picking from a drop down. You can add custom fields where you are choosing a date. Again, this one is a text one. So there's different options. What you're going to do in order to create your custom fields, you're going to go to custom fields in your cards here. You're going to add a new field. And again, you can pick date, drop down, number, or text. So those are your options, and you can put pretty much whatever you want in it. I'm going to show you what one looks like that is not in this board. Is going to be from my personal board. So this is my personal board. It's my life dashboard. So every month I sit down with my goals. I plan out new goals for the month. I have my vision board, etc. So at the end of every month, I go into my what's happening this month. At the end of the previous month, I sit down and think about my goals for the next month. So I have my goals throughout the entire month, but this is going to be an empty one just to show you for this video because obviously those are my personal goals. So what I do is I have my October goals, and then I've created these custom fields. Some of them don't pertain to this particular card, but the thing with custom fields is that they're going to show up whenever you create a card and you have custom fields in that board, is going to show up on every single card. That's something that I'm not sure if they're going to fix later on, but at the moment you can't delete. Once you've created a custom field, you can't delete it. So just be very careful with the custom fields that you choose for your board, because again, it will show up on every single card. And right now we don't have a way of deleting them or hiding them from certain cards. I will, if they do come up with something like that, what I'll do is I'll update this video to include that. But for now, this is what we got, which doesn't bother me because I can choose the ones right now that I can see. My only problem with this is just it looks a little cluttered, but what are you going to do? So for my October goals, in this particular card, what I use is not the cost because there's no cost associated with having monthly goals. The cost section of the cost custom fields is actually going to be for my shopping list, and not necessarily this. Also, the savings as well is for my shopping list. The purchase is for my shopping list. This is for my shopping list. And this is for my wouldn't it be cool list, which is like out there goals that I may have or think of. Is it doable? Can I do it? Things like that. So what I basically use for my October 2021 goals, the custom field, is the date accomplished. So once I've done everything here, it adds to the date accomplished. Now, my progress I do use because I want to know if I've started some of these goals, if I'm almost there, or if I completed it, right? So I've created a few custom automations for these cards. For the custom fields, you can actually select the colors of each section. You can leave them, let's say the saving one. I think the only one that I've colored is the completed. But what you do is you click on whatever options you want, and then you choose the color that you want it to be. I wish in the future that Trello does allow you to custom your colors by using your specific hex codes. But again, hopefully that'll come in the future. And so what I've done is with my progress, I have colored it. So anytime I've started I started my goals for the month, I'll click started. If my list is almost halfway there, then I'll change it to yellow. And if my list is done, then I'll hit the you did it. So I'm going to show you, instead of using this, because then I don't want this to move over to something else, let's just add a card. So let's do October 2021. Let's just do that. Same kind of card as the one before, but so I've just created a mock card. So this is the card that we're going to show you so that I can show you what I've done with the automation. Once I select started this goal, it's going to turn the front of the card in a little button that says progress started, which allows me to visually see that I've started these goals. If I go to almost there, it turns it obviously yellow. But what it also does is that it moves it to the almost there, you got this list. So that's an automation that I did. And it allows me to visually see, because I'm such a visual person, to see that I've gone from, okay, I've started these goals to now I'm almost there. And it's going to compile this in this beautiful list for me. Now, if I change this progress almost there to you did it, watch what happens next. It gives it a little check box. So now I can visually see that I've done this. I've completed it. This has made me feel good. So at the end of the month, what I'll do is I'll move anything that I've accomplished. For example, like this particular section, I'll just move it over to my accomplished list, and it gives me like that little celebration. And I look forward to that. So that's why I didn't automate that portion, because I like to see it. I like to see when things have been, accomplished and see the little confetti going up. But the way you do your automation is in your same section. You're going to go to automation on your card, and you're going to go into your rules. And these are the rules that you've done in other cards, whereas labels, when a due date is coming, any of that. But now you have the option for custom fields. So what you can do is, just as I've done in this one, let's move this over again because you're always in the way. So the one that you just saw with the custom field turns the progress. When you set it to almost there, you move the card to the top of that list. So I have it in that list form. So this is this one. So when the custom field progress is set to almost there, move the card to the top of the list. Almost there, you got this. So you can pick any custom field, make sure that you know the name of that custom field. These are the custom fields that I've changed. So this particular one, it says when the custom field progress is set to you did it, add the check sticker. When the custom field progress is set to almost there, move the card to the top of the list. Almost there, you got this. You can also copy the card if you don't want it to be moved out of your main list. And then the last one is when the custom fields purchased are completed, move the card to the top of the list, purchased. That's again for my shopping list. When I click the little button that says purchased, it moves the card over to the purchased list. And again, in order to create your rules, you would hit create rule up here. You would add your trigger. And for the custom fields, you're going to go to the fields. Now you have to know how you're mapping this or what you want to do in order to select your correct trigger. So if you want to do for every card, if everything is selected, then you can add that, and then you can tell it what to do. Do you want to move it? Do you want to change it? Do you want to add a due date? And so forth. So you need to know exactly what it is that you're doing before you set up these automation rules. Is the same thing I talk about all the time. You have to make sure you map out how you want things to go and flow. Let's say you want a specific custom field. You don't want all of them because this one says all, but you want a specific one. Let's just say the purchased. If you want that to do something, then you're going to go ahead and add the plus symbol. And then now is where you select your action. So your command doesn't perform any actions yet. You need to add the actions from the below choices. So you can either move or copy the card. You can move the card to the top of a specific list. You can add or remove things from it. Like you can add a label. You can add a check sticker like I did with the progress. You can even add a link or remove it. You can remove the due date. In this particular section, you can mark it as complete. You can set a due date. You can add a checklist to that card. You can add a member. You can add different content, another custom field. You can sort it, cascade. I mean, the things that you can do on here are endless. And so this is why I prefer Trello to so many other project management systems, because it just the automation part of it, I'm an automation freak, and so this allows me to do so much more with just one thing. And so to go back to the recurring bill tracker, she's created such an amazing tool and an amazing board, and she's giving you the tools on how to create those automations for yourself. So she's listed everything out here. And again, she just says in the top right corner, click on the butler. Well, it used to be called butler. Now it's been changed to automation. But so you need to, in this particular thing, she wants you to set up 3 rules and 8 calendar commands. So each rule is going to use a trigger, which is what I just showed you to get started. And then that trigger is going to make an action or actions happen. And so again, she lists everything out on what to do, like rule trigger 1, when the due date is marked as complete by anyone. So for me, this is going to be amazing, because once a due date is coming and I've marked it complete, move the card over to the bottom of the list paid and copy the card to the bottom of list future payment. So that's a recurring payment. So, just because you've paid something once, and if it's recurring, you need that same card to kind of come up again. So, that this bill is gonna come up again. So she's done that beautifully here with all the triggers. And then here she has the calendar commands. So she did amazing on this bill tracker, but again, she's using some of these custom fields. And what's cool about the custom fields that you have an option that they show up on the card itself. So obviously you can see amount due, $100, balance 2,100. You can see your balances. You can see how much you have due, your credit limit, your APR, the pay date, and the payment amount, and you can have all of that show up, or you can hide that. You don't have to have that. And the way you hide that is you go into your custom fields and you uncheck the show field on front of card. If that's a particular, like I believe this one might be hitting the APR. So if you go to APR, you see that she did not check that. She doesn't want that to show up on the front of the card. So you have an option on what you actually want to be shown on the front of every card. And so again, I've just learned about it and I'm bringing it to you. And that's why I wanted to show you what these custom fields were so that you can go ahead and start working on your boards, whether it's bill trackers, your goals, your business, and kind of start playing with those custom fields and really getting the most out of them by automating them for your business or your goals or whatever it is that you want. I hope you enjoyed a look at custom fields and how you can use them for, again, for your business, for your life, to manage whatever you need. Make sure you use those automation tools to your disposal. They're there. They're part of Trello, so go ahead and use them. As always, I really hope